Antarctica, Earth's most enigmatic continent, remains largely misunderstood. Its true size and shape often elude us, partly due to its depiction on 2D maps as a distorted blob. In reality, Antarctica is the fifth largest continent, larger than Australia and Europe, and closer in size to South America. Overlay it on a map of North America, and Antarctica dwarfs the continental US. It spans the distance from the Canadian Arctic to Mexico. In Europe, it stretches from Norway to Iran and beyond. Despite its vast size, Antarctica is almost uninhabited, with populations ranging from 4,000 in summer to just 1,000 in the harsh, dark winter. Its extreme cold, with temperatures plunging below 34 degrees, and isolation contribute to its sparse human presence. The nearest large settlement, Ushuaia in Argentina, is 1,000 kilometers away, separated by the treacherous Drake Passage, a notorious stretch of ocean known for its perilous waves and strong currents. Human eyes might not have seen Antarctica until the 19th century, when a Russian ship made the first recorded discovery in 1820. Today, our understanding of this icy continent remains limited, especially beneath its vast ice sheets. Over 98% of Antarctica is covered in ice, which can be up to 5 kilometers thick, almost as high as 6 Burj Khalifas stacked. This ice contains 61% of the world's fresh water, and if it melted, global sea levels could rise by 60 meters, flooding coastal regions. We know more about distant planets like Mars than we do about Antarctica's hidden landscape. To study what's beneath the ice, scientists use radio echo sounding, but this method is costly and time-consuming. Currently, over 90% of Antarctica's subterranean geography remains unmapped. Beneath the ice, Antarctica isn't a single landmass, but two distinct regions. The Antarctic Peninsula would appear as a separate archipelago, while the rest of the continent, Greater Antarctica, would be roughly the size of Australia. Greater Antarctica is made up of ancient rocks, while Lesser Antarctica, part of the Pacific Ring of Fire, consists of younger, volcanic rocks. Mount Erebus, Antarctica's highest active volcano, features a molten lava lake and extreme cold temperatures that can plunge to 62 degrees. Yet beneath Erebus is a surprising oasis, subvolcanic ice caves with temperatures reaching 25 degrees, potentially hosting undiscovered life forms. In 2017, researchers found DNA traces of algae, mosses, and even unknown small animals in these caves, suggesting life could thrive in these extreme conditions. Antarctica's hidden wonders also include the deepest canyon on Earth, beneath the Denman Glacier. Discovered in 2019, this canyon is 3.5 km deep, rivaling the Atlantic Ocean's average depth and half the height of Mount Everest. It remained concealed by ice for millions of years, revealing just one of many secrets Antarctica holds. In 1958, Soviet researchers uncovered a mountain range beneath the ice, now known as the Gamburtsev mountain range. Comparable in size to the Alps, these peaks are buried under 600 meters of ice. Additionally, a gravity anomaly detected in East Antarctica in the late 1950s and early 60s was later identified as a massive meteorite impact crater buried beneath the ice. Antarctica holds many secrets beneath its icy surface. One of the most intriguing is the gravity anomaly in East Antarctica, which some scientists believe could be the largest impact crater ever discovered. If confirmed, this crater would dwarf the Chicxulub crater in Mexico, linked to the extinction of the dinosaurs. For this crater to be nearly 3 times as large as Chicxulub, the impacting asteroid would need to be 40 to 50 kilometers wide, an asteroid big enough to span from Central Park in New York to Connecticut. The impact could have occurred between 100 and 500 million years ago, potentially aligning with the Permian-Triassic extinction event, the planet's largest mass extinction, eliminating 57% of all biological families and 70% of terrestrial vertebrates. Such an event might have contributed to the breakup of the Gondwana supercontinent. Beneath the Antarctic ice sheet, there are around 675 subglacial lakes. Lake Vostok, discovered in the early 1990s, lies about 4 kilometers under the ice and contains a volume of water greater than Lake Michigan. Despite its temperature of around 3 degrees C, some life forms, like Antarctic krill and icefish, could survive there. The lake has been isolated for at least 15 million years, suggesting that if life exists, it has evolved separately from the rest of the world. In 2012, Russian researchers drilled into Lake Vostok, but contamination issues plagued their results. Although some unknown bacteria were found, more rigorous, sanitized drilling in 2015 has not yet been reported. Discoveries of simple life forms in similar environments, like the 2021 find of shrimp-like creatures in an Antarctic cavern, suggest that Lake Vostok might also harbor unexpected life. Antarctica's ice sheet covers a vast area, equivalent to Mexico, and remains largely unexplored. This secrecy extends to potential natural resources. Theories suggest significant deposits of oil, gas, and coal, remnants of when Antarctica was not frozen. Recent findings reveal a massive oil field in the Weddell Sea, with an estimated 511 billion barrels of oil, double Saudi Arabia's reserves. This discovery has sparked concerns over international disputes and potential exploitation, particularly since drilling in Antarctica is currently prohibited under the Antarctic Treaty, an agreement aimed at preserving the continent for peace and scientific research. The intrigue of Antarctica's hidden wonders and resources continues to captivate scientists and explorers, making it one of the last great frontiers on Earth. France's relatively nearby territories include Crow and Kulan Islands, while Norway's Bouvet Island is similarly claimed by the UK. The UK's territorial claim in Antarctica is largely an extension of its claims over the Falkland Islands, South Georgia, and the South Sandwich Islands. Argentina's claim in Antarctica overlaps almost identically, based not only on its mainland but also on the same islands claimed by Britain. Chile's claims, based on the proximity of their mainland, also overlap. In the mid-20th century, these disputes between the UK, Argentina, and Chile were intensifying, risking escalation. During the Cold War in 1959, 12 countries signed the Antarctic Treaty. This treaty aimed to freeze territorial claims and prevent military use of Antarctica, focusing instead on scientific research. Military operations were restricted, and nuclear testing and waste dumping were banned. An independent monitoring system was established, allowing any country to inspect others' facilities to ensure compliance. The treaty defined Antarctica as all land, ice, islands, and ocean below the 60-degree latitude line. The 7 countries with pre-existing territorial claims had their claims frozen and made unenforceable. The US and the Soviet Union, now Russia, reserved the right to make future claims, while other countries could join the treaty and establish research bases irrespective of territorial claims. Importantly, the treaty prohibits resource harvesting and prospecting. No mining or drilling has been allowed since. Today, in 2024, over 55 countries operate research stations on the continent. The US runs the largest base, McMurdo, which can host up to 1,500 people during summer. The US also operates the Amundsen Scott Station at the South Pole. Most other stations are in the relatively warmer Antarctic Peninsula, with Argentina and Chile having permanent civilian settlements. Argentina operates the Esperanza base on the Antarctic Peninsula, and Chile has a settlement on King George Island. Populations at these stations range from a few dozen in winter to over 100 in summer. Since the 1970s and 80s, both countries have sent pregnant women to give birth in Antarctica to strengthen their claims. The first person born on the continent was Emilio Marcos des Palma on January 7, 1978, with at least 10 more Argentine and Chilean children born there since. The UK and Argentina also dispute the Falkland Islands, South Georgia, and the South Sandwich Islands. This dispute is more contentious than their Antarctic claims due to the Falklands' population of around 3,600 British citizens. The dispute culminated in the 1982 Falklands War, where Argentina's invasion was defeated by the UK. Recently, a Russian discovery of 511 billion barrels of oil in Antarctica's Weddell Sea could reignite these disputes. At 86 or 40 per barrel, this oil could be worth around $44 trillion, potentially eclipsing Saudi Arabia's oil reserves. The Antarctic Treaty, however, forbids resource extraction and is up for review in 2048. If the treaty is amended, Argentina, the UK, Chile, and possibly other nations might seek to exploit these resources. The thinning ice due to climate change is making access easier, though challenges remain. Extracting this oil would be costly and complex, but as the ice cover continues to thin and the treaty approaches its review, nations might pursue this opportunity. The future of Antarctica is uncertain. If Argentina could overcome economic and geopolitical challenges and reassert control over the Falklands, it could strengthen its Antarctic claim. Similarly, the UK's control over the Falklands underpins its Antarctic claim, making the preservation of this control crucial for its future claims.